Hey everybody, welcome to Harmon Garage. I'm Aaron. Another day, another video. So today we're going to be working on this lifted GMC that I did a video on before. You guys seem to like it, and I asked if we should do more videos on it, and a couple people told me we should. Now, if you watched the last video and you know what I'm talking about, I said this thing was for sale, and if you wanted to buy it, send me a message. Well, somebody sent me a message almost immediately that lived nearby me here, and he came over, looked at it, and he bought it. So this truck no longer belongs to me. It now belongs to a new friend of mine. So that being said, I was going to do a will it start video on this truck and get it running for him, and he had a transmission and transfer case to put in it so it would drive. Well, the carburetor was unbolted from the intake, and that's the air cleaner. And there's mud dauber nest and stuff down in the intake. Well, the guy that purchased the truck from me decided that he wanted to pull the motor out, take it apart, look at it, wanted me to pull the motor out, take it apart, look it over good, re-gasket it, clean it up really good, paint it, paint the engine compartment, and put it back in to get a head start on cleaning this truck up project. So to finish that part of the story, that's what we're doing today. I have a special guest that you guys that are familiar with the channel will recognize on his way over here to help me, and we're gonna yank this motor out of here. Now, that's the end of that story. Next story is Shane, who purchased this vehicle, used to work for the fire department, and he likes the fire department, supports the fire department. And we were sitting around talking, and he's like, I want to kind of make it like a brush truck, make it look like a brush truck and kind of have the features of a brush truck in honor of the fire department. And he's got a number that he was when he was part of the fire department. We're going to put that on the truck, so on and so forth. So now this has become a theme truck. You guys all know I like theme trucks. I like theme builds. So we're doing something different and not just doing the same thing over and over again. So I'm pretty excited. I hope y'all are pretty excited. But with that being said, I've named the truck. Everything's got a name. That's how I differentiate them on the channel and everything. So it's been named, and its name is Marshall. And you might think, oh, fire marshal. Yeah, that could be right, but realistically, the reason I named it Marshall is because my 4-year-old daughter is a huge fan of Paw Patrol, and the fireman dog on Paw Patrol's name is Marshall. So I named it after Marshall, the fireman dog on Paw Patrol, for my daughter, but it goes along with the whole fire truck theme. So as long as this truck is in my possession and I'm working on it, its name's gonna be Marshall. Shane and I have a lot of cool plans for it. I'm not gonna give them all away right now, because then you guys won't come back to see what we do to it. So I'm gonna wait for our special guest to get here. We're gonna yank this motor out. And by the way, I got another special guest. Pops is back in town, and we're having a good time. So when our other special guest gets here and we get ready to snatch that motor, I'll bring you guys back and we'll get it out of there. Okay, we didn't do a great job filming that, to say the least, but there's a lot of stuff going on. But you saw our special guest. Waldo came back, did some work. Justin, that owns it's been playing around with it. He's done a couple more things to make it better, and he's been playing around using the winch and driving it around and everything. So it's kind of getting all the fluids moving and getting back in its groove. But it almost wasn't high enough, but it got the job done. I think I'm gonna have to take the wheels off and set it down on the rotors to put the motor back in, because the boom on the wrecker kind of sort of, it was fine to take it out, but it's gonna be, it doesn't go back far enough to get it back in. So we'll figure out a better way when it comes time to put it back in. But for now, we've got something else we gotta go do. But we're gonna get this motor up on the stand probably tomorrow. Get it all tore up or tore down, cleaned up, see what it looks like. And we'll just go from there. Okay. It's nasty outside today. It's been raining for 2 days, and there's not a whole lot I can do outside. So I'm gonna keep going on this little project here, and we got our motor up on the stand. As you can tell, there's a lot of mud dauber activity down in the intake. You might be able to see that down in there, you might not. A lot more mud dauber activity over here. A lot more mud dauber activity over here. So what I'm gonna do before I take this inside to tear it down, I'm gonna go ahead and scrape all this mud dauber stuff off of it and blow it off the best that I can, to try to keep down the mess inside. So I'm just gonna knock that out real quick. We'll take it inside. We'll start taking it apart. Obviously we can get it all tore down as far as we're gonna go. We can get it all cleaned up and we can get it all put back together, but we ain't gonna be able to paint it today anyway, so we'll just get as far as we can and see how it goes. All right, before I get into too much of this, I kind of want to know where I'm at, which I don't yet. We literally pulled this out of the truck. The carburetor was not mounted to it in the truck. It was just sitting there. Got it out of the way, and I've taken off the accessory brackets. That's all I've done. So I'm gonna take it, and I cleaned up what I just told you I was gonna clean up before I brought it inside, but you get it. So I'm gonna stick a bar on the crank, and I'm gonna see if it's gonna turn over, because that's kind of gonna tell me, gonna help me decide where we're at. And if I'm gonna have, you know, how much work I'm gonna have to do. If it spins over, okay, and I don't hear any clankety clunk clunk clunks, then that's a good sign. And if it's locked up and stuff, then not so good of a sign, and I probably wish I would have left it in the truck to get it broke free, but we'll see. Oh. Still got spark plugs in it, and there's compression. Okay. Got past that compression. There's compression again. Got past that one. It's free. Not concerned at all. And it's got compression. You can feel it going through compression on the cylinders. All right, well, that's extremely good news. It's gonna make this a little bit easier. So I'm gonna go ahead and get the external stuff off the motor and probably pull the intake, and then we'll be able to kind of start looking in here and see what we got going on. Okay. It's not any surprise, because this is the original motor out of this truck, so it's a 76 model. But I have reason to believe it's been rebuilt, or at least gone through. For one thing, when I took the fuel pump off, the fuel pump had orange overspray on it, which means the motor's been painted. And then I took off the timing chain cover, and it's got a Cloy's double roller timing set. So with no play in it. So that tells me that at least the timing set has been replaced, but I don't know why they would have why it would have got overspray on the fuel pump, and there's no overspray in the engine compartment of the truck. So it's not like somebody did, you know, a spray can rebuild in the truck or anything. And there wasn't overspray on the valve covers. The valve covers were blue, or one of them was, the other one was aluminum. But anyways, and then I pulled the plugs out, and none of them look bad. They got a little carbon buildup on them, but that's normal. This is the worst one, and it looks like it's got dirt on it, but they're all fairly clean. None of them are rusty, and they really don't look that bad, which is promising. You saw how easy it turned over. It's got a new timing chain set on it. I've got indications that it's been rebuilt. I wasn't gonna pull the heads because I normally don't when I just clean them up to get them running. Because usually if they got the factory head gasket seal and everything, and there's no water in the oil and all that stuff, then you usually got a good seal. And I hate to break that seal to, you know, put new gaskets and stuff in there. But now that I have reason to believe that it's been rebuilt, I don't have one of those bore scopes or anything. So I'm gonna pull the heads off because I wanna see if it's got oversized pistons in it. How far oversized they might be, because that makes a difference. You don't want, I mean, if they're like 60 over, you know, it's fine, but it's getting pretty thin on the walls and stuff. So I'm gonna go ahead and get all the rockers and everything off. And the intake's already unbolted. I'm gonna pull it here real quick in a second so we can look and see how clean everything is down in there. And then we'll pull these heads off and see what we got. All right, got this thing out here. Got it rolled over so I could take the pan off. The reason I brought it outside is because after I get the pan off, it's time to start cleaning it, and I really rather make the mess out here where I can just sweep it out into the dirt than make the mess in there where I can just sweep it out into the dirt. So it doesn't really matter, but I'd rather make a mess outside. So I took the bolts out of the oil pan already. I brought a rubber mallet out and tapped the pan to get it loose. But that's it. I got a witness sitting right here that saw me do it. I didn't lift it up yet to see if it's a 2 or 4 bolt main. This is an 010 block. 010 blocks can be 2 bolt or 4 bolt. Does it make a difference? Not really. Being that it's the original motor out of a 4x4, I'd lean more towards it being a 4 bolt. And people like 4 bolts. They're a little bit stronger. But if it's a 2 bolt, that's fine too. So we're gonna pull the pan off, see what it is. Drum roll, please. No, we're not having a drum roll. We're just gonna take it off. It is 2 bolt. Kind of what I figured. Pops is over here. He was asking me what he didn't know what a 2 bolt and a 4 bolt were. And he was asking me what it was, and I was just explaining the difference to him and stuff. So, yeah, you get what I'm saying. Anyways, it's a 2 bolt. I'm gonna go ahead and clean on this, and it's gonna take me hours. Like, I'm not gonna finish tonight, but I'm gonna clean on this block. I'm gonna clean the heads. I'm gonna clean up all the parts that go with it. Everything on here feeling good and tight. So I'm happy with what I'm seeing. I can get a better look at the cam now. It doesn't look like it has any wear on it. I'm pretty sure this motor was rebuilt not very long before the truck got porked. So anyways, I'm gonna clean everything that needs to be put on here for the motor to go back together and go back in the truck. I'm gonna get it all clean. Then I'll bring you guys back. We'll put it back together. All right, in normal fashion, when we do one of these, we'll call it a Harmon Garage freshen up on the motor. Basically, we just open it up, check it out, replace a couple vitals, and put it back together and paint it. But you know, the guy that owns this thing brought me over an oil pump, pickup screen, stuff, which is stuff that I usually do anyways. So we're going to go ahead and change it out because it's a good idea to do it anyways. Like I said, there's many, I may not have mentioned this to you guys, but I may have, I don't remember. There's many signs in here, stamping and all that, that this motor has been rebuilt, and it doesn't look that bad. So I checked the timing chain. It has a double roller, which means it's aftermarket. And it doesn't have any play in it. It's nice and tight, so that's good. And then the oil pump, you know, we just do because that's a good thing to do. Last thing you want is to have an oil pump fail on you, because that sucks. But I gotta go inside and get the little piece that there. So let me run and get that. I'll get the oil pump put back in, and after I get the oil pump done, which I'm not even going to film finishing putting it in, because it's literally just put the clip on, put it back on, put the pickup tube on. So we'll get that done. I pretty much got the block clean, got the oil pan clean, and I've got the timing cover clean enough that I need to bolt it to something to finish cleaning it, because it's too hard to hold it and clean it any better than I have. So I'm gonna go ahead and get the piece I need. We'll put the oil pump in, we'll put the pan on, we'll put the front cover on. This will be all clean and ready to go. I want to get it painted today is what I'm trying to say. So it's like a high of 50 today. I've got heaters on in the shop. I want to get this thing buttoned up, minus the heads that I still have to clean up. And then once I get it cleaned up, I'll take it in and put it in front of my big brick wall gas heater, and that way it can just sit there and warm up until I'm ready to put the heads on it and paint it. And then we'll pull it outside, paint it, and we'll take it back in front of the heater so it can dry and cure and whatever else. I just want to get temperature in the metal so I'm not spraying cold metal. So you get the picture. I'll bring you guys back way before we paint it or any of that stuff, but I just wanted to show you that we were doing the oil pump and stuff, and we'll keep going. Just a little tidbit of information here. Something that I always do, and I've done for a very long time. These pickup screens don't fit real tight in the oil pumps anymore, and they'll wiggle loose, and I've actually heard of them falling out. I've never had it happen to me, but I've heard of it. So what I do is I take and just put a little tack weld. Well, I put this in, put the oil pan on without a gasket, and that way the oil pan, you know, it pushes against the oil pan and sets it, and then when you put your gasket in, it's gonna space it out just a little bit so it's not actually sitting on the bottom of the oil pan. And then I go ahead and put a tack on there with the welder, and that assures that that tube's never going to fall off and that we're in good shape. So just a little piece of information. All right, you guys have possibly never seen this corner of the shop before, and not really any reason why you would have. And this isn't really the most convenient place in the shop to do anything, especially when you're trying to do things that aren't easy to do in a tight area. But that being said, you can see in the video that we have a heater right there. I am trying to do everything in my power to get this video done so that I can put it up on the YouTube for my wonderful viewers such as yourselves. That being said, it is currently 37 degrees outside. Maybe 38 by now. And I need to paint this. And I've got too nice of stuff inside my shop to paint inside, and honestly, with the heating devices that I have, I can get the temperature up about 10 degrees warmer than what it is outside for the general air temperature in the shop. Now, that being said, right next to the heater, I'm about to take off this beanie and this jacket. So, if you haven't already figured it out by now, we have the motor sitting in front of the heater while I install head bolts and put push rods and rockers and all that back on, whatnot, so that the block can get nice and warmed up, which means we should be able to run it outside real quick in the sun, which with the sun beating on metal, it's going to be a little warmer than just sitting out in the cold. Spray it with paint, hopefully get a couple good coats on it. Then bring it back in here, put it back in front of the heater for like an hour to cure and dry. That's the plan. Do plans always work? No, not usually. But we'll see what happens. It'll either turn out really good or I'll end up stripping it all back down and repainting it. But either way, good content for YouTube, right? So right now, you guys may see I got this little paintbrush cap and I am painting head bolts, putting them in. And if you don't know, you may wonder what I'm doing. This is thread sealant, also known as liquid Teflon tape. Now, some of these bolts go into the water jackets. Not all of them, but some of them. I didn't look, and or do I remember which ones those are. With that being said, not only am I putting this on the bolts to seal the ones that goes in the water jackets, because that's really why I'm doing it, but it also kind of works as a lubrication / Loctite for the other bolts. So I've got a mess going on here. I've got bolts in my pockets and bolts sitting up here and all this and that, everything. So missed the spot when I was cleaning. There's a little bit of silicone left in this hole, because whoever assembled this motor the last time used silicone on the head bolts instead of thread sealer. Does it work? I guess so. Is it recommended? Not by me. So I'm going to go ahead and get the rest of these head bolts started, and then we will get our old clicking machine out, torque wrench, and torque the heads down to 65 foot-pounds. That's what small block Chevys call for, if you don't know. And get the heads torqued down. Keep moving on. So I don't want to bore you guys with my continual aimless talking, so we'll speed this up and get all these bolts in, and we'll come back and torque them. All right, got all the bolts in this head. Just doing one side at a time, because once I get this side done, I'm going to turn the whole engine stand around and do the other head on this side, so that I'm not backed up to the heater getting scorched and blocking heat while I'm doing it. So I got my torque wrench here, like I said, 65. Just kidding, I'm not torquing them with an impact. I'm just using this to run them down close, so that I'm not sitting there ratcheting with the torque wrench forever. So I'm not torquing on them at all. Might sound like it, but I'm not. Just running them in. And my phone's ringing again, and it's probably a scam or a telemarketer for the 42nd time today, and it's only 9 in the morning. That's a normal day here. I apologize that you guys have to listen to that, because I know it annoys the crap out of me, but I forgot to turn my ringer off. So. If it was important, they'll leave a message, and I probably still won't call them back, because it's probably crap. Okay, now, enough about that. So, there is a torque sequence to torquing down these heads. You can go on Google or in a book or at the library or whatever your choice of finding information is, and get a picture of the torque sequence. I basically have it memorized because I've done enough of them, but even if you don't, the torque sequence, all it does is makes you start in the middle and work your way out. So there's a bolt here, like if you figure cylinder 1, cylinder 3, cylinder 5, cylinder 7, the one in between 3 and 5, that's number 1 on a torque sequence. That's your very first bolt. So I go 1, and then I go up to the right to the closest bolt, 2, come down and get a bolt, the closest bolt to the right of my first bolt. That's going to be 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I don't think I need to bring you guys in close and break that down for you, because I think you can figure that out. But you go, I did that wrong. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You work your way out from the middle. So you just basically make circles. You get what I'm saying? You might just want to look it up and get a picture of it and, you know, whatever. But so our torque spec is 65 foot-pounds. So I'm going to run my torque wrench. Okay, that's 50. $65. And then I'm going to do what I just told you. I'm going to start in the middle. I'm going to work my way out. Just to avoid confusion and everything else, I'll go ahead and put a picture of the torque sequence up on the video when I was telling you guys all the wrong stuff, whatever. But I don't think I can use this impact socket. I gotta go get another one. chrome socket. That should fit in here better. Oh yeah. So we got that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Did I do that one? Yeah. 13. 14. Okay. And I always go back. Just double check them and they're all good. Alright, now before I turn this motor around, I'm going to go ahead and install the valve train. I did take brake parts cleaner and spray through all these push rods and wipe them down. So they're just stained from old age, but they're clean. So not gonna adjust these or anything just yet. Matter of fact, I'm probably not going to adjust them until after it's all painted and ready to go in the truck, because I just don't see any point in leaving it sitting there with tension on it when we don't need to. Doesn't hurt anything. I know they get left sitting there with tension on them their whole life, but I don't know. Basically I'm just not going to adjust them today. That's the easiest way to put it. We'll do it when we assemble the rest of the motor and get ready to put it back in the truck, which will be very soon. Because for one, it's cold. 2, I'm on a time crunch trying to get this video done, and there's only 2. I'm definitely going to make sure that I adjust these rockers before I get this in the truck though, because you guys have seen the truck and there's no just leaning over the fender and doing anything by any means. So the more work I can get done to this motor out here on the stand, the way better, and it's definitely something that I want to do. So now, just like our head bolts, I'm not going to put any tension on these. Just running them down. Getting them close. The main reason I'm doing this is because when we're moving it around and stuff, I don't want to take chances of it bouncing and a rocker falling off and me not seeing it. Shouldn't happen, but I guess that doesn't really make any sense, but I don't know. I overthink everything. So anyways, that being said, this head is as far as it's going for right now, and I'm gonna turn this around and do the same thing to the other head. And then we'll start prepping this for paint, and I got some tips and tricks I'm gonna show you guys on what I do and how I do that to get a good paint job on it, if you haven't already seen me do it before. So I'll be back in a little bit. All right, I got block warmed up. I got the other head tossed together, and now I'm just going around with some Scotch-Brite and doing one little final, trying to get a little bit that I missed in some tight spots or whatever, but basically just kind of wiping it down. It's always hard to get up in here on top of these oil filters unless you got a little scraper or something, or a really sharp pocket knife that you're in the process of ruining at this moment. Alright, I'll wipe this out. So, and then I'm going to take brake part cleaner and not let it blow all over other vehicles in here and stuff. We're just going to use it to rinse off loose dirt and break loose any oil that's on there, and I'll show you why in just a second. Do this. This is the side I got to be really careful on because I don't want to spray brake parts cleaner all over the side of that beautiful green truck over there, which I'm not. I'm taking it easy, being careful. Alright, now, that part's done. Now, I'm going to make some paper towels. It's warm enough in here, and there's another heater right below you guys that you can't see. That it evaporated the majority of the brake parts cleaner. But just going to go back and, especially like in the freeze plugs and stuff, it kind of gathers up. I just look and see anywhere that I see some, I just go ahead and wipe it down. So, because the next step that we do is going to be flammable, and we don't want to start a fire. So let's wipe this down, get as much of the brake parts cleaner off as we can. Alright, I'll move this tray. It's full of brake parts cleaner. And now, going to grab my torch. I'll bring you guys up close, like when I get around to the front here, and show you. But what I'm doing now is taking my torch, and I'm slowly running it over the motor, and you can watch it. And you can see as you do this, the metal will get wet. And then you stay in that spot, and it'll dry back up again. When it does that, basically what you're doing, at least I think so, I may be wrong, but any oil that's in the block or any brake parts cleaner that I just sprayed on there and whatever, the heat is baking it out of the block, and then you're burning it off. So basically you're making this metal nice and clean. Like I said, I'll bring you guys in here and show you. You can see it gets wet, and then you dry it out. Want to be careful, you don't want to do it like on the gaskets and stuff, because you can burn the gaskets out holding open flame on them. But all the heavy metal surfaces, and I don't hold the heat in one spot, because there is still old paint on here and stuff that you can burn if you keep it, you know, right there, which it wouldn't really hurt if you burnt the old paint, but not the purpose of this. And by doing this, once again, we're going to take this outside in probably 40-degree temps to paint it. We're getting heat in this block. I've already got heat, some heat in the block from sitting over in front of the heater, but now we're kind of more or less cleaning and preheating this block. I've got paint sitting in front of the heater that's underneath you guys, so that the paint is heating up. So when we go out to paint, we should have a warm block and warm paint. And I should be able to get a coat of paint on it, and then we'll bring it inside for about 10 or 15 minutes, let the first coat cure up. And then we'll take it back outside, put a second coat on it, and hopefully that will be enough. And then we'll take it back over in front of the heater and let it sit there all day with the heater blasting on it. Hopefully you'll be able to see how it's kind of getting wet around where the flame is and it's drying where the flame is. And I just keep moving around and it keeps drying. Getting wet and drying. It's just cooking all the oil and moisture and whatever else is in the box out of it. And once you see it all go to where it's dry, keep moving around and keep doing it. I've already done this some, so hopefully the camera's doing a good job of picking this up. I just take my time, go over it all real slow, and it helps. It makes for a better paint job, I guarantee you that. So we'll put you guys back down. I'll finish it, and as soon as we get done heating it, we're gonna roll it outside and shoot some paint on it. All right. You don't have to go checking your settings on your phone or your TV or anything like that. I blacked and whited it because I don't want you to see what color it is until it's all done. So we're gonna slap a coat of paint on here real quick. We're gonna slap the dampener on, slap the water pump on, and then we will slap another coat of paint on it and be done. I forgot to throw spark plugs in it. I'm gonna go grab those and screw them in real quick, then we'll get the paint. This block is nice and warm after all that heat and everything I did on it. Not like burning me, but put your bare skin against it, it's nice and warm. So make sure I got you guys on, and we're gonna start with a nice dust coat. What do you guys think of that color? Huh, just kidding. This is a color that I have never, not only not ever used on the channel, but I have never in my life painted a motor this color. Not because there's anything wrong with it or anything like that. I've just never thought of doing it, and I never have. The person that this vehicle now belongs to, that I am doing some work on it for, wanted it this color. And I already told you guys a little bit about the theme of the truck, I think. If not, I'll go over it again before I finish out the video. This color kind of goes along with that, so. I should probably be wearing a respirator or something, but I'm not. Just breathing this stuff in. It's good for you, right? Well, I'm hoping the normal 2 coats of paint's gonna get the job done here, but I don't know that it's going to. It's not looking promising. You guys probably can't see because I got you in black and white mode, but I'm putting this paint on really, really thin. Just dusting it, because in order to get a good paint job with this engine paint, that's what you have to do. If you, well, as I'm saying it, I just got to run on the back of the oil pan. But if you put it on just a little bit too thick, too fast, it'll be running all over the place. And we're trying not to do that, so we gotta do 10 dust coats to get it looking good. Then that's all right. Looks like this front here has already started to tack up a little bit. I don't know if this is a bad can of paint. I've run into this with this brand before, where it kind of doesn't spray out nice and kind of like fish eyes and stuff. But I'll know, it might just be crap on the block still that I didn't get off. I don't think so, but it's possible. So it's going to I'm just getting the front again since it's already kind of tacked up, and that way I can put the balancer and the water pump on, and then we'll spray them with the rest. And all I can say is, hopefully as I get more coats of paint on this, it comes out looking better than it is right now. So I'll bring you guys back after we get it painted. All right, I got a couple more things done. I got a couple more things painted. I got a couple more things assembled on our motor. And I'm ready to show you guys what it looks like. But before I do that, let's play a little game. I already told you that we're doing it a color that I've never done before. Not on the channel, not in my personal life outside the channel. I have never, ever painted a motor this color. I want you to go in the comments right now. I'm gonna wait, I'll give you guys a couple seconds to go do it. Go in the comments, pause the video, go in the comments, and tell me what color you think this motor is. And I don't know. I don't have anything to give away right now, but I think it'll be pretty cool if somebody guesses it right. So anyways, if you know what color it is, i.e. there's 2 people I have told and 1 person that owns the truck and chose this color. If you are one of those 3 people, you are not eligible to play. So with that being said, leave me a comment. Tell me what color you think this motor is, and I'm gonna walk over here and show you guys what it is. So, ready, set, here it is. No, just kidding. That's my LS7 crate motor, and it's red. That's not the motor that we're talking about. Oh, gotcha. But this one will be. I got the heater turned off now, but it's been sitting over here in front of the heater, curing, and it actually ended up getting quite a bit warmer today than it was supposed to. I'm sweating in a long sleeve t-shirt with another t-shirt over it, so it's plenty warm for this paint to cure. And it sat out in the sun for a little bit, and it sat in here in front of the heater for a little bit, so it should have cured fine. But I'm sitting here blabbling, letting you guys have time to go comment, and kind of just the suspense, if anybody's like, oh, what color is it? You know, a little bit of the suspense and whatnot. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you now. Here it is. We got our motor for Marshall, the fire truck, brush truck, and it is white. And I don't mean that because you guys can't look and see what color it is. I mean that because that sucker is bright white. Turned out good. Cleaned up and re-aluminum'd our intake manifold. Painted our pulleys black. Our accessory brackets will be black. And the rest of it is white. Got some shiny Edelbrock valve covers, Edelbrock air cleaner. Those will probably get cleaned up and polished a little bit more by me before it's done. But I just wanted to get them on there for the overall look. And got an Edelbrock carb. That's what the individual that owns it wanted. So we got him one of those, and I think it's looking pretty snazzy. So if anybody chose white, you won. Nothing, sorry. But anyways, I'm pretty excited with the way it turned out. I told you guys the story about how we're gonna make this a brush truck, and I guess white goes along with the color scheme for the truck build. So that should work out pretty good, I think. And you never know. So should be fun. Motor's done. Next time you see it, it'll be going back in the truck, but we still have to clean up and paint the engine compartment. There's a cross member that the motor mount goes on that I haven't showed you guys yet that is cracked. We're gonna fix that first. It's a couple different things that we need to do, a couple things that we need to fix, a couple things we need to clean up and paint before we put the motor in, and that should be coming up very soon. So if you guys could, if you haven't already, please like, comment, subscribe, share with your friends if you haven't, and I really appreciate every single one of you. If it wasn't for you guys, I wouldn't be able to do this. I'm gonna help Pops clean up so we can get out of here. Y'all have a good one. We'll see you next time.